I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
Mom would always say, why are you gonna watch someone doing something when you can go out in the world and do it yourself? Turn that damn thing off, get outside.
The road you're on, it's beautiful. It's more beautiful than you realize. You're gonna see things you would have never seen. You're gonna experience things you would have never experienced. You're gonna achieve things that you would have never achieved.
It's never gonna make you feel good if you're leaving it on the table, if you're not exercising your potential, if you don't have a purpose, you don't have a mission. The reason you feel like is because you know that you're letting your potential die on the vine.
When you give it your all and you're willing to give up that, put all your will, all your effort, and look past the temporary pain of it to what that pain will dry and solidify into later, as this being the down payment for the future investment to come, willing to sacrifice this now for the belief of what tomorrow can be.
You're gonna have to do something. If you want to go from where you are to where you want to be, you're gonna have to do something that makes you more different, more weird, more easy to be mocked.
You're letting your potential go to waste. And that is an underlying condition that's causing you this anxiety, causing you this stress, causing you this uncomfortable place. But the reality is you need to solve the underlying problem. And the underlying problem is you're not exercising your potential. And for that reason, you feel like that's it.
Look at the road ahead. The best days of your life are ahead of you. You have to start dreaming big right now. And it creates this upward spiral.
That if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're gonna have to work hard for it. And if you don't work hard for something, you're not gonna get an outcome that's really worth much.
It's not that simple.
Why not?
No, that's the biggest lie I was ever told. And it's a lie they tell you over and over again.
What's not simple?
Any of it. All of it. It's how they get you to give up. They say it's not that simple, Vinny.
So what's the truth?
That it is. And you realize it is that simple. And that it always was.
You know, you must hope and believe in yourself if you ever want to see what that hope can turn into, what that belief can turn into. By doing this every day, repetitively, those are the measures that lead to the big moments of success that everyone sees in life. No one sees the struggle in here. No one sees the hardship, the early mornings you get up. No one sees any of that. They just see if your hand's raised or not. And if it is, oh, what a great guy. Oh, I wish I could be that guy. I wish I could be that guy. But they're not clapping, wishing they could be you at 5 in the morning when you get out of bed, when it's pissing rain outside, to come and train for that hand to be raised. They don't want to be that guy. They just want the glory. And that's the differential of a champion.
It always takes me back to that quote of Marcus Aurelius, who had a slave that would sit behind him and always whisper to him, hey,
You're just a man.
you're just a man.
If you believe it, if you really believe that you could be something, if you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you could do this, then follow that voice.
You know, when you're going through something really challenging, how do you show up within it? Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering, you know?
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next month, but only one thing is true. I will be champion one day, I promise. I promise.
Get out in the world, go hustle, figure it out, be home with dark.
And I got all my expertise the hard way by screwing up my own life first and then having to figure out how to fix my own life and make it better.
I don't hold on to grudges or gripes. It takes too much time, it takes too much energy. Things will work themselves out. They never not have. It'll always work itself out.
If you haven't had a catastrophe or a crisis in your life in the last 12 months, you're not doing something great. You're not trying to grow. You're not trying to change things. You're literally trying to change your life, change your family's life forever.
Think of it this way: if every bar I go to, I get into a fight, it's not the bar.
So when someone's like, I have this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, they're so set in who and how they are, they want to stay there.
The reasonable first step to figuring out who we are is let's define who we're not. Let's pick out those people, places, things we do, habits we have that don't pay us back, that don't feed us tomorrow, that don't give us green lights in the future.
What's that quote? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything.
That's it. It's a true statement.
This was one of the most important things. It wasn't about the result. It's the fact that I showed up. The result was just whatever.
What is also useful to understand in that manner is that there isn't anything more adventurous than the truth. This is something that took me a long time to figure out.
In your daily life, you carry the quality of the body and you carry the quality of your mind. And both of them taken together is what makes you literally you. In this earth, at least.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself, find the silver lining, and get to work with the same belief, same drive, and same conviction as ever. One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear.
Gotta be humble. You know how hard it is. You're gonna be out of breath. The pressure's gonna be on. And so you gotta train, prepare. But when you get up there and you like knock your arrow onto your bow, you've just gotta be like, oh, I'm gonna slay this right now.
Consistency of work. Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.
Well, I think partly because life is so difficult and challenging that unless you give it everything you have, the chances are very high that it will embitter you, and then you'll be a force for darkness and not good.
Your superpower isn't just your work ethic. Your superpower isn't just like figuring things out. Your superpower is like you think strategically. Like that's a very strategic thought of saying this person could be this in the future if they were developed as a whole individual, rather than just like, let's use them for the short term.
I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else who's gonna have to try.
I gotta tell you, I think what it gives you maybe is freedom. I think it's a freedom when you're totally immersed in a process and not so concerned about results or outcomes. It creates a freedom. And then that science, you can actually navigate in an art form when you're in it. I think that allows the art to sort of take over, the energy, the whatever it is, when you're totally free.
I've found that most people fail in life, not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. And many don't aim at all. So raise the bar on yourself and don't ask how you're going to do it.
You overcame things. You fought them. And now this is what happens. This is on the other side of overcoming. You become very, very powerful when you overcome yourself. All those things you once cowered from, you were afraid of, when you face them eye to eye every day, you now become a person who has a great podcast.
The fact that life is short and can be brutal can terrify you into hiding and avoiding, but it can also, you can flip that on its head and understand that since you're all in anyways, you might as well take the risks that are adventurous.
See, when they get to the end of their road, it wasn't real bumpy, the weather was pretty good. They get to the end of their road someday, it's the end of their life. They're gonna look back at their life with regret. They're gonna look back and say, I played it safe. I didn't take any risks. Here's the truth, I lived my life scared. I lived my life afraid I might crash.
If you need to perform, you need to be very, very humble. And like if I've got an event that I've got to do, I've got a mission that I've got to do, I've got to train, I've got to prepare, I've got to plan, and all of that is driven from humility, right? I don't think I'm ready, so I'm gonna prepare more, I'm gonna rehearse more. I don't I'm not thinking clearly about what the enemy will do, so I need to come up with a better plan. Like, I'm gonna be very humble, and I'm gonna therefore prepare very hard.
Growing up as a lonely kid, what you realize is a lot of the things that you feared or hated or embarrassed about as a child end up being the genesis of the things that you're most proud about as an adult. So the fact that you can work and thrive in solitude gives you the opportunity to be able to move to America and start a podcast, or decide to do Hell Week 3 times in a row, or it doesn't matter how long or dark the course is, you're just going to stay.
Beyonce's same thing.
Really?
After a performance, she's immediately on her laptop rewatching the performance.
No way.
Yes, seeing how to do things better. What could we have done differently? Right? I mean, it's an obsessiveness that comes along with it. You want things to be as perfect as they can be, understanding that nothing is ever perfect. But the challenge is try to get them as perfect as they can be. And what can you do? It's in your control. So control what you can.
What often bothers me when I hear people say, I need the support from my spouse or my friends, or I've got haters, or no one understands me, or I'm getting all this rejection and negative feedback from people, I've got haters. That's the road you're on. Those are the signs you're on the road less traveled. Those are the signs you're on the path that most people aren't gonna be on, that you're going to a place most people aren't gonna go in their lives. And so what comes with deciding to be great, deciding to do something awesome with your life, is all of those things.
Dude, you're kind of seeing so much significance that none of that significant. Every detailed frame you're giving it a proper name. Oh, if everything's significant, there's no significance at all, man. Some just like, I don't have the capacity to deal with it, or I don't really care. It's just how it is. Some of the inevitables, and sometimes you gotta let those ride. Go on, I'm not trying to, that's just how it is.
Proper comparison group for you is you yesterday. Because you can make, first of all, you're the only control group that's appropriate to you. Because you have a certain set of talents and possibilities and limitations and tragedies that are truly unique to you. And so you might be comparing yourself to someone else on some dimension, but it's not a reasonable comparison because you don't know what talents they were blessed with, and you also don't know what opportunities they had that you didn't, etc. It's just not a reasonable comparison.
If you see there basically being no shortcuts toward getting the thing that you want, there are ways to be more and less efficient. And there are ways to do things with more and less of a positive disposition, which can actually make the journey feel an awful lot easier. But ultimately, if you assume that largely everyone needs to go through the same challenges that you're going through, every single difficult thing that you do is kind of like a massive wall that you need to get over. And you go, wow, I'm so glad that I've got over that wall. And think about how many people are going to be selected out. The first time that I went to go and see Peterson, someone asked him a question and they said, the depth of my consciousness causes me to suffer. Is it a blessing or a curse to feel everything so deeply? And he thought for a little bit and he said, take more of the thing that poisons you until you turn it into a tonic that girdles the world around you. The only way out is through.
The only thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you, and then you'll forget they exist. And that's when he said, success is the only revenge. He's like, it's not the best revenge. He's like, it's the only one. There's no other revenge. Because everything else is petty. Everything else does show that you were thinking about these people all day long, which means they win by default.
One of my favorite things from Marcus Aurelius is, the whole universe is change, and life itself is but what we deem it. Life itself is but what we deem it. The 8 most profound words in all of philosophy. What he means is that things are going to happen. You are going to have experiences in life. Almost all of the important impacts of how those experiences change you are going to be the story that you tell yourself about what that experience means.
Be a dangerous man. That's a lifetime right there of study, okay? But start working on that. Second, be a dangerous man. Now, being dangerous is not being a threat. They're 2 different things. all right? And it's not about going out and lifting weights and getting a bunch of tattoos and wearing leather jackets and walking around with your chest and shoulders up, hulking around saying, I'm dangerous. That's very rarely is that a dangerous man. Often the most dangerous man in the room is the quietest man in the room.
And so if you tell young men, look, you're going to find the meaning in your life by adopting maximal responsibility, right? That's going to be extremely difficult because you're so bloody useless. You can't even get your own house in order. And you're going to be called upon not only to get your house in order, but to do that well enough so some woman can stand having you around for more than like 15 minutes in the back of a car. And then maybe you're going to have to do it so that you could be a good father to a family and a pillar of the community. And that's not just empty words. Like, if you do that nobly, there'll be something to you. And then when the storms come, you won't be blown over by the first 4-foot wave.
I struggled my whole life, but I ran from it. So I started realizing, man, I gotta start facing the struggle, and I gotta be mentally strong for the struggle. So that's why I started coming up with, like, I'm training for life. Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for, like, to lift 400 pounds. And I found out on my own pretty much, is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, and that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. Start to armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. It's what we do. We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it. And that's how I started coming up. You know, I just started being very uncomfortable. And now it's like just a way of life.
You're praying for change, and your life just starts falling apart, unraveling at the seams. Everything around you, your relationships, your job, it all goes away. The money in your bank account, it all goes away. And you look up and you go, God, what the f? God's like, dude, you asked for change. You asked for a new life. We can't go on in this environment that you're living in. We have to change the environment. We have to obliterate everything that stands and start new. Mm-hmm. Because the foundation has to be rebuilt of what you're asking for. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to stay in it, because that's the ultimate yoga right there. That's the yoga of life, is are you able to maintain peace in the midst of that chaos, maintain focus, concentration, trust, and faith. You can either have faith or be in total fear looking into the unknown. Mm-hmm. Either one. It's on the precipice of the unknown. You have to either have faith and trust that when you let go, God's going to provide you with the next thing. Or you're in total fear and you never go anywhere and you never see what's on the other side of that thing.
You have to tap into suffering every day of your life, because we have so much scarring that we have to clean up. You have to look at suffering as almost like I look at failure. To succeed, you must fail. In failure and in suffering, all the answers are in there. All the answers to all the test questions. The test is your life. All the answers are in there. You don't have to live in suffering and pain and failure all the time. You have to learn, I need to visit it. Like, people hate working out. You're only gonna visit working out maybe an hour a day. 23 other hours of the day, you're not in it. But how you become in shape is you must visit suffering, visit working out 1 hour a day. Visit suffering 1 hour a day. Visit your past failures 1 hour a day. The relationship with it is the answers are in there. They are in there.
It is astounding how many people want to be spectacular in life, but also want to fit in and be normal. Like, by being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
It's time to stay focused. It's time to decide clubs, partying, trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you not clubbing like every time I text you and invite you to go do something fun and cool, you always studying? Because I'm trying to get it. Let me tell you something, homie. These women ain't going nowhere. These clubs, these parties, all this shit ain't going nowhere. The more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are to focusing on your shit, molding and shaping and developing your ideas and your craft so that when it's time for you to make your rounds, you gonna fly.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It can mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It can mean freezing at a park bench. It can mean jail. It can mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, or how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds, and it will be better than anything you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You'll be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
To all of you out there, please keep your dreams alive.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
They say I'm just talk, but here I am walking. Where's everybody else? I'm here.
Life's all about confidence. Confidence breeds success. Success breeds confidence. And confidence applied properly will supersede the genius. There's nothing like confidence. It's almost like magic.
Anything you say with the words I am, your subconscious will then take that as a command. And so we're constantly programming our subconscious. We think we're describing it, but we're actually prescribing it.
Just want to say that I feel happy. All this happened because of a reason. The reason is I'm unbelievable inside the pitch. This is why the people have so much interest on me.
William James said, believe and your belief will create the fact. You will see the person's personality change. I watch people in the seminars, personality change right in front of my eyes. And all they're doing is starting to see themselves different. They're starting to think different thoughts.
I'm a firm believer that God redirects and maneuvers us when he has us on a mission. Right? And in the redirection, I think true courage is the ability to embrace what we don't understand.
Today, I live in $1 million house on a golf course in Southern California, and I have business interests in 9 countries. Today, I know and I've proven that success in any field, including this field, is as predictable as the sun rising in the east and setting in the west.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
I could have been great.
But you never know what the idea is going to be, so you must bombard your mind with many ideas. Just knowing that the right idea will come to you at the right time. Yeah. And it always does. It always does if you will just keep being open to new ideas. Yeah.
My philosophy is, why be normal when you can be the best? I don't want to be normal. I want to make the difference. So everything I do, I want to make the difference. Because when I make the difference, I'm the best. And that is not arrogance, that is confidence for me.
The best way to prove your value is to work, is to learn, is to absorb, to be a sponge. You always want to outwork your potential. You know, as hard as you believe you can work harder than that.
There was no outsiders. It was isolation. It was visualization. It was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life. You know what I mean? It needs to be like that. It needs to be no outsiders. It needs to be, you need to have your team and your focus, and that's it.
No, because I think right now, if I was to quit rapping and I said I want to go to the NBA, I would be in the NBA.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes.
No, you would.
Yes, I would.
No, you would.
Yes, I would.
Why would you think you could make it to the NBA?
Because I think I could do anything.
Life's a journey if you're a moron and you're retarded.
But if you don't think money can buy happiness, you don't know where to fucking shop. You can get money and then go save the world. You can get money and save the forests in Brazil. You make money and go save global warming, which I don't believe in. But without money, you can't save a fucking thing. Don't you understand?
Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Why would you be realistic? What's the point of being realistic?
Just put up a barrier.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's done. It's already done. The second I decide it's done, it's already done. So now we just gotta wait for y'all to see.
Hunter, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in. All you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it, you called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything. So that's where I am right now.
Congratulations.
Unwavering faith. Like, it don't matter how f***ed up that shit might look. It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work.
Delusional.
Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion. Because it's only delusional until it works.
Make a small target, turn sideways. Okay. You see this guy here staring back at you?
Yeah.
That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life. Okay? Let's throw a jab in the jaw.
Are you the best footballer in the world right now?
I think so, yes. In my mind, I'm always the best. I don't care what the people thinking, what they say. In my mind, not just this year, but always, I'm always the best. I'm always gonna say that. Because I think we have to thinking we are the best in our area. So in my area, I think I'm the best.
And when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. He's my favorite.
Right.
Don't be bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
There's one relationship that you have to maintain, and that's the one with you, right? And it's like, if you're not loving you, if you're not taking care of you, everything and everybody is second to you taking care of you. First and foremost, when you are steady and calm in yourself, it makes it easier to manage the insanity that other people are going to bring to you. I know anybody can accept and embrace something that they do understand and that they know the end result, but I think true courage is when you find yourself in the midst of an opposition, piece of adversity or situation, and when you're in the midst of it, you're thinking, man, how did this happen and how did I get here? But you still have a certain level of perspective to say, even though I don't understand it, even though I don't like it, I can still trust God, even though I can't trace God.
The three most common traits of hyper successful people that they looked at. And it was interesting because there's the influencer world wants to be like, you have to wake up at 5 or you have to do cold plunges or whatever the fuck, right? But the thing but there was actually very few that they all had in common. So number one was that they had a superiority complex. They thought they were better than other people and that they deserved more. The second is that they suffered from massive insecurity and feeling that they would never be enough. And third, they had impulse control.
But before you can ever reach anything, you have to believe it. You don't just mistakenly become great at something. You probably at one time or another, believe that you can be great at that. And then you work to get great at that, and you reach that greatness. But you don't mistakenly become great. And then you start to believe, oh man, I'm great at that. No, you believed that before, and you work to get that.
Write out a description of how you'd like to see yourself. Start to read it, and read it, and read it, and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers, all down through history, have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now, it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it.
You know, I always dreamed as a kid that, you know, it was possible to score 80 or 90 or 100. I always just like, you know, had a dream. You know, like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. And you just kind of, you know, that's at least how I would go to sleep. I'd lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I'd imagine what the uniforms look like. I'd imagine where we'd be playing, and, you know, the smell of the arena and all sorts of stuff. And I would see myself, you know, getting hot, you know, and score 10 straight points. And
I don't want to be an icon. I want to be an idea. You know, I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent magic, right? That you're in a universe and 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 is going to be what I want it to be. You know?
Gratitude is one of the most strongest forms of power in attracting good things. You know, if you truly feel grateful for the things in your life, I always felt grateful for even the small things. I always used to celebrate the small things. Now I might be celebrating the bigger things, but I always celebrate every little good thing that would happen to me in my life. Even before I had any kind of money or any of that, I would celebrate and I would feel grateful for it, and it just gave me more. And this is exactly the same thing that's happening right now. I still remain grateful, and more comes.
I'm only gonna call it delusion until it don't work for nobody else to see, but for the whole world to see. And then once the world see it, there's nothing delusional about it. Now your delusion becomes, oh, he was a genius. We didn't see it when he saw it. We didn't understand it when he did. We thought this was crazy. But he definitely always figured this thing was the thing to do, and he stuck by that shit.